So now comes the interactive part of it. So we're going to call all the entrepreneurs back up. Got the chairs all ready. We've collected a couple of questions. We're going to open it up to you guys. Yeah, if you guys want to ask the panelists questions, you guys want to ask the entrepreneurs questions, now's the time.
Okay, so thank you all. That was really, really exciting and eye-opening. First, we wanted to open up for questions of our investors and judges. So does anyone have a question for our panelists? Yeah. The panelists first, yeah. Okay, anyone have any questions for the panelists? And if they come up as you go, that's fine. We can do this process organically. So we do have some questions for the companies. First for Mentors Guild. How do you make money?
So we take 7.5% of every engagement that we generate. And then for companies which use our full service model, as in the project manager as well, we charge $500 per month as retainer on top of that.
Next for board.vote. Does your board voting process have a validation mechanism to ensure votes were not changed by profit incentivized hackers?
That's always a challenge whenever there's anything that's particularly contentious. Is somebody going to try to sway the vote? So in my 2.5 months that I've been working on coding this, I've put a lot of effort into the security and understanding how to keep the user spaces separate for different boards to make sure that nobody can get into another board's information and be able to see what they're voting on, and to make sure that no user can impersonate another user. So we're trying to provide full transparency to the board so they'll be able to see who's voted, whose emails are in there, so we know the emails are going to the correct place, and that every board member is equally on equal footing in terms of their ability to take care of their business and to vote on things without having to worry about any kind of security breaches.
You can just hold on to it. Is there a way to submit a counter proposal?
We've been looking at that, and how the voting mechanism works currently. We know as time goes on we're going to be pivoting and pivoting again, and one of the things that is sort of a long-term goal of this is we'd like to have the board itself be able to configure, by voting on things, configure how the system works. So for example, if a board wants to come through and say we need 60% of votes, well, to do it that way, if a board wants to add on a feature like amending a proposal, that's something else that we need to look at. Right now, you can accept a proposal, you can reject a proposal, or you can ask that a proposal be postponed. And of course, you can abstain from voting. And each one of those, we think, offers an opportunity for a board member to take a particular proposal at face value and either it goes or it doesn't. If it doesn't go, someone else can come through and submit a new proposal, similar but amended in the way that they think the majority of the board would be willing to support.
All right, for shifted energy, the mainland uses more gas water heaters. What then?
The nationwide average is actually 40% electric resistance. The one thing interesting about the mainland, and I usually call it continent, right? So the continental customers are actually better customers than Hawaii customers. So you think about it, our groundwater comes out at 70 degrees in Hawaii. So to go from 70 degrees to 120 degrees takes so much energy. But on the continent where the groundwater is 50 degrees, these tanks represent larger batteries to the utilities. So we get about a 40% increase in efficiency per tank on the continent.
Nolan, are there other ways that are viable to store energy using gravity or compression?
Sure. I'm not an expert in those things, but I play one on TV. So I'll play one now. I don't know. I mean, mechanical, chemical, and other forms of storage exist, but we have the only solution that we know of where we're not introducing anything onto the grid. We're repurposing something already in the grid to use as storage, and there's no way anyone can catch us on cost because we're not having to install chemistry, we're not having to install water systems that use gravity to then turn a turbine. So.
And now a question for all the companies. What is your marketing strategy for customer acquisition? Who'd like to start?
So many of our suppliers are thought leaders in what they do. All of them are domain experts. And one problem they have is all of them have more than 2 decades of experience in what they do. And as a consultant, they are constantly being compared to people who don't have that kind of experience, people who are between jobs and things like that. So they really love us and the way we are trying to differentiate them in the marketplace. So although we have just like 800 followers on Twitter, many of them have 20,000 followers on Twitter. And we constantly, they constantly retweet what we do, and that has gained us, some visibility in the market. Also, they write articles in many of the top publications, and instead of saying, I'm, Bill from XYZ consulting company, they say, I'm Bill affiliated with Mentor Skill, and that gives us credibility. So we are kind of, on their shoulders, getting credibility from that. But it is a long kind of process. I'll give that.
We recognize that customer acquisition is one of the biggest challenges of any software as a service offering, and that we need to do this as efficiently as possible to make use of whatever limited startup capital becomes available to us. There's a few things that we've looked at, including being able to go to associations of apartment owners and associations of homeowners associations to be able to work with those organizations and use them to reach out to their membership. Ultimately, though, our marketing acquisition strategy, if we're just bootstrapping the company from the beginning, is going to be a lot more limited in terms of our capabilities. And one of the things that we've looked at is that Slack, which now has over 1 million daily users, has a list of integrated programs for teams that are already using Slack to look through and find some additional capabilities they can layer onto it. It's essentially an app store for Slack, and I desperately want to get us into that app store as soon as possible because there's a lot of visibility amongst those users. They're tech savvy. We already know they're on Teams, and we think that's a great space for us to be.
For us, it's pretty simple. Utility customers are some of the most conservative and I understand why, customers. And so we worked with the Electric Power Research Institute, which is sort of the R&D arm of the utility industry. And with them validating the technology, that's our path forward. So we can get a few hundred deployments here, and then with some EPRI validation, we can start to expand to other utilities. So our plan is quite simple.
Okay, now we'd like to open it up to any questions that you have for our panelists. Did you have a question for one of the companies? Okay, that's all right. Okay.
Thank you. So actually I have 2 questions. One is for the consultant service. So you mentioned 2 figures that were one after the other. One was you mentioned, I think, 75% of businesses fail. I think you might have said, I might have misheard it, but then you also said that you offer 100% guarantee. So I'm imagining you having to refund 75% of the money you collected, but can you explain that a little? And then the second question was going to be for shifted energy. Will the consumer or the person who owns the hot water heater, will they see their bills go up? Will their electric bills be affected at all? Will it go down? Will it go up?
So the statistic is that 70% of the consulting projects fail, whether you go to McKinsey, BCG, or you go to independent consultants. We offer a client satisfaction guarantee, and that is kind of, we have spent a lot of time in our diligence of who we list on our platform. And the project manager and off-site subject matter expert combination, we are really confident that would work. Also, as a disruptor, to have credibility in this industry, we think of, even if some people say, oh, it's not working and they claim it back, we think of it as a marketing cost. But we do offer even a money-back guarantee to our clients.
That's a good question, Kim. So we have two programs. So one of them, our target is about a 6% efficiency gain. And so we want our participants to save at least 6% of the heating costs by doing things with the software, reducing set points, so dropping temperatures as well as vacation settings. We also have another project we just launched where we are retrofitting water heaters with a heat pump. And some of you guys, heat pumps are reverse air conditioning. And we just finished the validation with Hawaii Energy. And maybe I shouldn't be telling you the numbers, but they're fantastic on the saving side. So double the efficiency. So. And in addition to that, the utilities do offer financial benefits for the participants as well. So they get a monthly credit to their account as part of the participation. So efficiency, credit, and maybe even ultra efficiency. Absolutely not. Yeah, they do not go up. Yeah, or it will come out of my pocket. Yeah, EPRI actually did that as well too. They did a test to make sure that the work we do does not increase the amount of energy that a participant would use. So.
Was there a question in the back? Yes, go ahead.
I have a question for TradeWinds organization. Do you really consider yourself, your organization, more focused on sort of fourth stage funding or third round funding?
No.
Really sort of the purpose you see yourself in that role?
Not really. That's why I don't know why I was invited here. To be honest. I think maybe we will evolve to have a portfolio like that. I just started TradeWind 4 months ago. I would like to eventually evolve there once we get this thing going. So if you just hold on for a while, we will get there, but not right now.
One of my ideas is that we have a lot of foreign capacity in Hawaii. Foreign investors come here primarily. Right now, when they take their money, they sell their property and they take it back. They have to pay a variety of taxes. One of my thoughts is that why don't we establish a trust where they can take that money and defer taking it offshore and provide some sort of tax incentive for them to leave their money here for a few years so that we can use that capital for the benefit of our expansion of our economy.
That's a great idea. And the entity to talk to is Hawaii Strategic Development Corp. And Carl Fuchs and let's see, is Lauren? Lauren was part of that organization. She can help you. So who else is here? So okay, Sarah's back there, right there. They had the perfect organization. Carl was the former J.P. Morgan private equity guy. He's very good, and I think you should call him. But yeah, it's a good idea.
All right, great. Thank you so much again. Sorry, we're out of time, and so I believe that the investors as well as our pitching companies are going to be sticking around if you have any additional questions. We wanted to just take a moment again to thank HTDC, UH, Central Pacific Bank, HMAA, Bloom, HVCA, High Beam, and Kona Brewing Company for the evening. All of this would not be possible without our sponsors. Yes, and please stay and drink, eat, and be merry. And then I personally just wanted to thank our board, Tim and Donovan. Omar Sultan is here also, as well as Leanne Miyasato is here, our former executive director and president. So thank you all for everything that you've done for the Entrepreneurs Foundation. We're going to be sending out an evaluation form, so look for that in your email inboxes, and we value and welcome your feedback, and we'll be reaching out to each and every one of you to see how we can do better and continue to grow in our communities. Again, thank you so much for being here. Good night.